my name is Eincrou, and welcome back to Red Pill Game Reviews. When High Moon Studios was tasked with developing a video game starring the Marvel superhero Deadpool, they apparently decided to say screw it to all the rules and all the conventions of video gaming that we've come to expect. This is one of the weirdest video games I have ever played. And let me tell you, it definitely isn't the weirdest, but damn, was this a bizarre experience. I'm going to share some of my thoughts and experiences with you all in this review, and in the same spirit that High Moon Studios took when they approached the Deadpool project, screw those rules and screw the expectations of the audience.
Hey player, just go with it. We're about to change your fucking life.
I experienced Deadpool in stereoscopic 3D, and so I have produced this Red Pill review in stereoscopic 3D. But 3D sucks, man! Well, yes, you are correct. It does suck. If you're watching with a poor quality viewing method. And it can also suck if you're watching bad stereoscopic content. And believe it or not, even as a stereoscopic 3D viewing enthusiast, I class so-called 3D masterpieces of cinema, such as Avatar and The Hobbit, as bad stereoscopic content. For reasons that I will not explain now, this video, consisting of stereoscopic footage of a PC game, is good stereoscopic content. Regardless, there is no need to have a 3D monitor, 3D TV, or even anaglyph glasses to view this video. YouTube has excellent 3D functionality through the Flash player, and so you can just turn off the 3D by going to that gear icon on the bottom right of the player window. And one last thing to say before we get started. For those who can accept no less than the maximum visual quality, people kind of like me, then I have uploaded a full side-by-side version of this review that will be much better quality, both in 3D and also in 2D. So, choose your viewing method now, and let's jump right into my Red Pill review of Deadpool.
Like some dingus word writer's gonna know better than me how to show how amazing I am.
All right, so I think a good place to start this off is with my credentials for discussing comic book superheroes. But to be honest, what we really need to talk about here are my complete lack of credentials for discussing comic book superheroes. The best proofs I can give you that I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to these issues are that A, I had never even heard of Deadpool before this game came out, and B, I have never seen what is apparently the best superhero movie ever made. Yes, I'm talking about the Avengers. I just can't get into this stuff. Most of these live-action films, they go for the realistic, modern settings, though obviously the settings of the original material were depicted in a highly stylized manner. They don't have photorealistic backdrops here. So it makes sense to have these highly stylized costumes and magical powers on the superheroes when they're drawn like this, in this cartoony, very colorful way. There's a visual continuity between it all. But obviously, if you're going to make a superhero film in a modern setting that audiences can relate to, you can't just change the highly recognizable outfits that these guys wear. If they did that, you just lose the feeling that this is a movie about a comic book superhero character, right? So you get superheroes in outrageous clown outfits running around in everyday settings. And there's little to no explanation for why they would choose these ridiculous outfits. And I understand that a lot of people enjoy the way these live-action superhero blockbusters are styled, but I have the same kind of issue with the Deadpool video game and its environments. Some of them are cool looking, but most of them are just boring, everyday scenery. Even Magneto's mutant refuge of Genosha, it doesn't even look that awesome, really. It's a shame. I would rather see a highly stylized world in this video game, too, similar to the way things look in the comics, but it's just not the case. Fortunately, though, Deadpool is a very strong character, and he more than suffices to take you to a bizarre and strange land where you ain't never been before.
And and the crowd goes wild.
From what I can gather based on the game's description of Deadpool, his real name is Wade Wilson, and he is a product of the Weapon X project. You've probably seen X-Men Origins Wolverine, or at least played the awesome game that accompanies it, so you know what I'm talking about. It's the same mad scientist experiment that gave Wolverine his adamantium claws. Deadpool, like Wolverine, has incredible healing powers, though the metallic weapons he fights with are of the more conventional sort.
This just might be a little overkill.
Also unlike Wolverine, who is a mutant, Deadpool is a mutate as a result of being injected with Wolverine's DNA. Deadpool's exposure to the Weapon X program fucked him in the head a little.
That's for being in more comics than me. That's for making me love you. That's for making me hate you. That's for never taking us to the prom.
or a lot. Apparently too much to be accepted into the X-Men. But even as a solo operating mercenary, Deadpool still looks for opportunities to show up the X-Men.
Screw the X-Men!
The developers of this game, High Moon Studios, fully embraced Deadpool's insanity and made the kind of video game that Deadpool himself would create. Literally.
We're taking Sinister down ourselves. This is our game.
Typically, video games developers try to suck the player into the virtual worlds they've created. They want to immerse you into it and make you feel like you're really a part of it. Some ways of doing this are through detailed graphics, top-notch voice acting, well-developed characters, and imaginative settings that have a lot of backstory. Not this game.
Hey, buddy. Sorry for breaking your scripting earlier. No hard feelings, right?
It doesn't try to make you feel like some hero, slaying dragons and shit.
His heart beats with fury and courage.
It doesn't pretend that you aren't just sitting there on your couch or in your chair playing a video game.
In my game, you get points for killing baddies.
Deadpool says, fuck your immersion. He doesn't really say that, but I wish he had. Deadpool directly addresses the player all the time.
What about this is confusing to you? Push the button.
Anytime he died or he failed in an objective, he let me know it was my fault.
It's your fault, noob.
And you know, can't argue with that. But when Deadpool succeeded, it was all him.
We thought it'd be better for the game if we did it this way. You know, giving you the glory after we did all the work.
Just push your button to execute our super awesome amazing plan.
Typical. He has two voices in his head, constantly commenting on what's going on.
Duh, it's Genosha.
We're back on the surface.
Ah, I love it. It's very French.
Focus. We should get to...
Oh my God, what's that over there?
And of course, Deadpool himself likes to blather on and on, so there was a lot of dialogue in the game.
You said ass bub.
Interestingly, the two voices in Deadpool's head don't just talk to him, but they talk to each other too. That's got to be a deep level of psychosis.
Does anybody remember how to play? I never read the manual.
You can't read.
Yes, I can.
I only play PC games.
All three voices, or perspectives, or personalities, or whatever you want to call it, they're all voiced by one man, Nolan North.
The Deadpool was an absolute blast.
Who we've actually already heard from on Red Pill Game Reviews. He voiced the main character in Spec Ops: The Line.
Clear that room, but keep it quiet. No fucking problem.
Obviously, I could tell that it was Mr. North voicing Deadpool and his extra personalities, but he did do a really good job of it. At no point did it feel like I was listening to Captain Walker or Nathan Drake. Deadpool even calls up Nolan at the start of the game.
Nolan, hey, what's up, buddy? We're making a game about me. Gotta have you do the VO, man. I mean, see, here's the thing. People tell me we sound alike.
Why don't you just contact my agent for the booking, and we'll see what we can do.
He's so in.
So, yeah, I think you can get the idea by now. This game is bizarre in every respect, and it's clear that High Moon set out to create the strangest game they possibly could. Nothing was too crazy to be included into the game. I've looked at a few of the Deadpool comics, and the game is pretty true to the level of insanity present in those comics. Apparently, High Moon even intentionally broke Marvel canon.
FYI for all you nerds out there getting all puffy over the fact that Rogue in the comics currently does not have the power to fly. Well, you can officially move out of your parents' basement, get a job and a life, and maybe just maybe you'll kiss a real girl.
They already included the player into the game, so why not just get even more ridiculous and include themselves?
Peter, it's Deadpool. What the hell is High Moon doing to my game? We'll use the money I transferred to your account and patch this shit. Now!
In fact, High Moon Studios rests at the center of the entire premise of the game. Deadpool is trying to pitch a video game to High Moon, a game starring himself.
But the answer is no. We're gonna pass on your big game idea.
He gets turned down at first, of course, but eventually they approve the project once he installs a new front door to their office building.
The new proposal you sent over this morning went off with a big bang in the office today. Genius. Just genius. So, sum it up, congratulations. Let's make a video game.
See? Once again, our explosive personality wins the day.
So the premise is that you're playing Deadpool through the script of his proposed video game.
Script?
The script has him working with a time-traveling hero named Cable to defeat Mr. Sinister and his army of clones.
That looks very uncomfortable.
I don't think I fully understand it, but then we're probably not meant to.
Are you stuck in there?
No, that would be ridiculous.
For me, the story was just there. I don't know anything about these heroes, these anti-heroes, these villains, or these anti-villains. If there's even such thing as an anti-villain. Have you figured out yet that I have no idea what's going on here? So, if I can't even speak intelligently on the subject matter of this particular video game, and I knew that in advance going into it, then why choose it for this Red Pill review treatment? Well, the reason this game caught my eye is because of its over-the-top vulgarity and a willingness to be what a great many people would deem offensive.
Now be honest. I'm not the only one with a little bit of shit in their pants right now, am I?
The first I had heard of this game was when Total Biscuit presented his first impressions of the game in his video, WTF is Deadpool. And he brought up a few issues that I found interesting.
That's where you've got to kind of draw the line. If it is a commentary on kind of generic third-person action games, the bloodiness of them, as well as the, let's just say, the not-so-great way that the industry has kind of treated women as characters. I don't want to get into the sexism debate too much, because I never view myself as smart enough to actually do it, yeah? I have the inherent disadvantage of being male, so my opinion apparently doesn't count. And then I just don't think I'm smart enough to really discuss the wider issues at play there.
I've long respected Total Biscuit's attempt to represent the video games he covers in an accurate and professional manner.
All the women in the game are sexualized.
unlike someone else that we've dealt with here. So I think it's fantastic that he would leave discussing these types of issues to people who have the ability to do so. There is an ever so slight chance that I may be one of those people, so let's talk about it. The kind of humor employed by Deadpool, and by Deadpool I mean both the character himself and the game, much of this humor is juvenile.
Oh my God! Who let one rip? It was me. Oh God! The smell!
As I was playing through all of this, I didn't even feel like I had the right to an opinion on it. It was just an unstoppable onslaught of the most crass and vulgar and random, just nonsense.
Smells like our bathroom back home. It smells like poo.
It wouldn't matter if I liked it and thought it was hilarious or if I was just grossed out and disgusted by it. It was just gonna keep on coming and hitting me hard, just so hard and fast. It didn't matter what I thought of it.
Remember, silent but deadly.
Like bad dog farts.
So I just went with it. I just went with the flow. I let Deadpool do all the jokes he wanted to do. I just took it in stride and played through the game. And fuck, this guy took me on a wild ride, man.
Great, Cable. Thanks, awesome. Bye. See you in traffic.
Damn it, Wade!
All in all, this created a very bizarre gaming experience. I imagine that it's similar to playing through a Duke Nukem game. And I can only imagine what it's like to play a Duke Nukem game because I have not, in fact, played a Duke Nukem game. But I know enough, and these games are very similar in attitude.
I'll rip your head off and shit down your neck.
If you remember, Duke Nukem Forever caught a lot of heat, mostly for being a poor video game, but also for its crass take on humor. It came out in 2011, which was shortly before the women in video games craze that got kicked off sometime in 2012, but misogyny was a word thrown around by a lot of reviewers. It seemed as if calling Duke Nukem Forever misogynistic was some sort of an obligation on the part of people reviewing the game.
As he kills, he'll spout one-liners ripped from movies and generally reinforce his narcissistic, sexist persona. He feels like a relic, an ignorant personality that's remained shuttered in a basement while the rest of the industry moved on.
But hey, this is Duke, right? Maybe the game is funny and sexy and misogynistic and silly. Well, Duke Nukem Forever tries to be funny and offensive, but it really isn't.
Story, and his lowest jabs go beyond the pale of bad taste with misogynistic undertones that are shocking but not remotely funny.
Duke, what's happening to us?
Looks like you're fucked.
Woo! Good one, Duke. Damn, son. Well, I'm sorry, game trailers, dude, but I got a mind of my own. I decide for myself what's a funny joke, and that right there is a funny fucking joke.
The nudity and focus on ass and titties represents a culture of outdated attitudes towards women.
You know the kind of shit they like to say. Okay, so let me ask, what does the fact that this is a video game that has the player firing deadly weapons and ending the lives of sentient organisms mean? What does this say about our attitudes towards violence, that we would engage in such fantasies? And by and large, the game's reviewers themselves are guilty of enjoying playing video games that have violence? What does it mean, man? Oh yeah, it doesn't mean shit.
Later, dickhead.
The interminable accusations of misogyny surrounding Duke Nukem Forever, those are what made me lose faith in video games journalism as being defenders of freedom of expression in video games. And it has only gotten worse since then. But, and let's consider this, it's a very encouraging fact that a game like Deadpool can still be released in this type of climate. It does not treat imaginary virtual female characters the way some hypocritical people think they virtually deserve to be virtually treated. Deadpool just does not simply give a damn.
Hey, hot tits, the pipe I was offering gives way more pleasure.
Deadpool is one of those guys who thinks he should be just so loved by the ladies, but he's actually a complete failure.
Yes! Now that's more like it.
What? I wasn't talking to you, jerk. Get away!
Kind of like a games journalist who bravely champions imaginary female virtual game characters. Anyways, back to Deadpool. He has almost no success with women, not even at a party that's a figment of this insane nutcase's imagination.
Hi, name's Deadpool. Perhaps you've heard of me, star of the game that you're currently in.
Oh, yeah. Don't you have your own reality show?
Yep, that's me. So, wanna make out?
No way.
The only woman he has any luck with is dead.
Hey, babe, good to see you.
It's been a long time, darling.
I got this, babe.
Deadpool.
Yes, my bony bride.
Pull yourself together.
They can't be together because she's dead and he's living, and Deadpool has a really difficult time when it comes to dying, you see.
No guts, no gore. Did you see what we did there? About the... Forget it.
How profound.
Even when you supposedly die in gameplay, he's not actually dead. He just instructs you to stop sucking.
Let's hope it's a comic book death. Hey, try harder.
Hilarious shit. So anyways, Deadpool is really delusional about how much the ladies love him. He's kind of an anti-Duke Nukem in a way.
I'll rip your head off and shit down your leg.
Oh my god, this conversation is so cliche. I know, right? We're so specifically written as female tropes, it's almost painful. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La la la.
No women, save death, recognize how awesome he is, and he can be tricked into doing anything if you just promise him that he is a fangirl.
Large-breasted naked fan lady, we're on our way.
So I don't know much of anything about Deadpool's history prior to Weapon X, but his in-game bio suggests that he was a successful ladies' man before going insane. I suppose that his major malfunction is that his delusional mind has not yet caught up to the changing reality. Given Deadpool's crass, childish, and gross humor and his utter failure with women,
gross?
It seems to me that the character is supposed to remind some of us of our formative years. Perhaps junior high school or early high school.
It helps to be really quiet when we're trying to sneak.
I can certainly remember when some of these jokes were the funniest thing I'd ever heard.
Imagine if your name was Dick.
I don't know. Should I be kind of grateful to High Moon Studios for sort of taking me back to my childhood? Is that a valuable gaming experience? I don't even know.
Boing, 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 banana!
The game's jokes aren't all extended sequences about taking a piss.
Wow, that is a whole lot of piss.
Yeah, hey.
A huge amount of the humor is in how Deadpool will directly address me, the player.
Hey, player, sit your ass down and watch some TV. Maybe you'll learn something.
A lot of random, unexpected, illogical, unforeseeable, eyebrow-raising WTF moments keep the player wondering just what the fuck is gonna happen next.
How'd that look on TV? Amazing, right?
I struggle to come to a conclusion as to whether Deadpool is a game that I can recommend to others. It's like wondering whether or not you should tell your boss about a buddy of yours and recommend him for employment when that buddy is a dude with purple flames running up and down the side of his neck and he learned his vocabulary from the Urban Frickin' Dictionary. Maybe you're somebody who would really enjoy this game. Or maybe you're somebody who would fucking hate it, and as a result, you'd hate me for the bum recommendation. And I just can't deal with people hating on me. It affects me so. So I don't know, man. It's up to you. You take that risk if you're willing. I'm just gonna give my red pill score and leave it at that. A lot of games journalists seem very disappointed that their chosen profession is not nearly as prestigious as news journalism, or even film and music journalism, so they appear to be very frustrated. So I have a hypothesis about this. These games journalists think that by using their platforms to push gaming in a more politically correct direction, then more women will want to play core video games, just like women love to enjoy music and TV and movies, and then a lot more money will come into video games, and then video games will become mainstream within polite, high-class society, and then they can get jobs writing in the video games column of the New York Times and the Washington Post. Some of them might even be hired to consult for Entertainment Tonight's video game segment. Wouldn't that be an awesome gig? You poor fools. Should have gone into real journalism if you wanted to change the world. This game, Deadpool, it looks them in the eye, and it says, "Oh, so you want video gaming to become respectable. You wanted to observe every tenet of political correctness in the hope that you can be invited to those big journalism galas and be taken seriously. Well, fuck you." All right, so for this game, we're going there, man. We're gonna do it. We're going there. We're gonna take this to the next level. 5 red pills go to Deadpool. Come on, let me hear it now. Yeah! Yeah! Deadpool, man, you irreverent bastard. I am not giving you the top score that Red Pill Game Reviews is authorized to award because I thought all of your potty humor was so awesome. No. Listen to me, man. Listen. It's because of what this game represents. It shows that video gaming can continue to be a place where all kinds of interesting experiences can be found. So what do we have here? Is this a nasty, offensive video game that seems like it came straight out of the mind of an adolescent male? A video game that very few female gamers would likely enjoy? Well, games journalists hate that because they desperately need more women to move from Facebook games and mobile games into core games. When that happens, games journalism will be given legitimacy or some shit. Right now, core gaming is a predominantly and overwhelmingly male activity, and that's such a bad thing. High Moon Studios did not care about any of that nonsense, and they created a game that allowed me to get in touch with my inner 12-year-old. Hey, and don't you knock it, because it's not often that a video game gives me that kind of an opportunity. So thank you for watching this Red Pill review. The first one presented in the viewing format that organisms with binocular vision are designed to see, Stereoscopic 3D. Yes, if you have 2 eyes, then that goes for you too. The vast majority of video games on PC can be viewed in Stereoscopic 3D, though results may vary and some games need help. Deadpool, as fucking awesome as he is, needed some help. I want to give all due respect to EQ Zatara for making 3D fixes that allowed me to have a great stereoscopic experience. And the greatest of thanks also go to Helix for developing the Helix mod, which brings incredible value to users of NVIDIA's 3D vision system. Thanks to these 2 brilliant and hard-working men, this stereoscopic production has been made possible. My name is Eincrou, and if I survive to make another episode, I will see you all in the next installment of Red Pill Game Reviews. And I'm no Deadpool, so there kind of is a bit of a question as to whether I'll survive to make another episode. But yeah, see you in the next one.